English Learning Series, How to Speak English with Just 521 Words.
Welcome to today's explainer. Have you ever felt totally paralyzed by the sheer size of the English language? Like you just freeze up right when it's time to speak? Well, you're in the right place. Today we're escaping that vocabulary overwhelm. We're going to break down exactly how you can ditch those endless memorization lists and finally start speaking English with genuine, real confidence.
Okay, let's take a second to wrap our heads around this number. 170,000. The English language officially contains more than 170,000 words. When you hear a massive number like that, how does it make you feel? Let's be honest, it probably feels incredibly heavy, right? Just completely paralyzing.
And that heavy feeling, it inevitably triggers this kind of internal panic. You're probably thinking, how can I ever learn all of that? Listen, it's a totally natural reaction. We all carry around this deeply ingrained, completely false belief that true fluency means we have to literally download a massive dictionary directly into our brains. We kind of trick ourselves into thinking we need thousands upon thousands of words before we even have the right to open our mouths.
Well, let's just relieve that tension right now, because here is the core truth of today's explainer. 521. Yep, you literally only need 521 simple, high-frequency words to speak clear, natural, everyday English. You absolutely do not need to learn 17,000 words. You don't even need 10,000. This tiny, specific group of words, when you use it correctly, is your golden key to fluency. The contrast here is absolutely everything. The wrong way is that exhausting traditional method we all know, memorizing a dictionary, obsessing over strict grammar rules, and ultimately just staying totally silent out of fear of making a mistake. It keeps you completely stuck. Now, the right way, it's how kids naturally learn. It's using high-frequency words, repeating simple patterns over and over, and actually speaking out loud. It's not about knowing more, it's about using what you actually know.
To put this whole thing into perspective, get a load of this surprising fact. Even native English speakers, people who've spoken the language their entire lives, they don't use anywhere near those 170,000 words in daily life. No way. A normal native speaker only uses about 2,000 to 3,000 words regularly. They rely heavily on a very small subset of the language, repeating the exact same words day in and day out.
So what are these 521 high-frequency words anyway? Well, we're talking about the absolute basic building blocks of daily life. Simple pronouns like I, you, he, she, basic verbs like go, come, eat, work, everyday adjectives and nouns like good, bad, time, and home. I mean, you probably already know most of these, and the beautiful part is, by creatively mixing and matching just these simple words, like I go home or you go to work, you can generate thousands of perfectly clear meanings.
But here's the thing. Having the words is really only half the battle. Here is your magic weapon, captured perfectly in this idea. Sentence patterns are like roads, and words are like cars. Think about it for a second. If there's no road, a car can't go anywhere, no matter how fancy it is. A lot of learners spend years collecting thousands of vocabulary cars, but when it's time to speak, they're stuck in the mud. Why? Because they don't have the structural roads, the sentence patterns, to drive those words on. So the solution is beautifully simple. Core sentence patterns. These 5 are the absolute most powerful. I want to, I need to, I am going to, I like to, and I have to. These are your freshly paved roads. With just these 5 simple structures, you can express literally hundreds of different ideas. The pattern stays exactly the same. You just plug in a different simple action word at the very end. I want to eat. I want to work. I want to sleep. You know what? Your brain absolutely loves these predictable patterns.
Section 1. Using survival English.
You see, English isn't just some abstract thing you study in a textbook. It's a tool you use every single day to navigate your routine. And your everyday life is already full of perfect English topics. Your morning routine, your job, how you're feeling. You don't need to discuss complex global economics to be fluent. Think about these simple repeating sentences. I wake up early. I feel tired. I need water. I go to work. Sure, they're small sentences, but they're immensely powerful because they are real. This is how practical communication actually works. These basic patterns form the absolute bedrock of real-world fluency.
Now, here's a really crucial point. Consider this sentence. Yesterday, I go to work. Is this perfect past tense grammar? No, definitely not. But is the message clear? Yes, absolutely. And honestly, that is what matters. That's survival English.
When you're out there speaking, people aren't acting as strict grammar judges. They're just trying to connect with you. They connect with your confidence and your clear message, not your flawless mastery of verb tenses.
Section 2. Overcoming the fear.
So, if we have the 521 words and we have the sentence patterns, why do we still freeze up and stay silent? Well, because the real barrier isn't a lack of vocabulary at all, it's fear. It's that terrifying, crushing pressure we put on ourselves to sound completely perfect. Let's map out the actual psychological journey to beat that fear. It starts with step 1, repeating simple patterns. When you use familiar, simple words instead of reaching for super complex ones, step 2 happens. Your brain feels safe. The panic just kind of melts away. And when your brain feels safe, step 3 naturally follows. Your confidence begins to grow. Ultimately, that growing confidence is what leads to step 4, true fluency. Because remember, fluency isn't about speaking fast. It's about speaking smoothly and comfortably.
But here's the catch. Confidence only comes from action. Speaking is a physical skill, just like playing a sport or learning an instrument. Listening to English builds your understanding, sure, but physically moving your mouth, that builds your confidence. So, here's an actionable exercise for you. Take just 10 minutes every single day to practice out loud. Choose a simple topic, like your morning routine, and speak 5 sentences out loud. You've got to train the muscles in your mouth to get comfortable with those patterns.
Which brings us to one final, really important question. The truth is, you're never going to feel 100% ready to speak perfectly. Ready isn't something you just wait around for, it's something you build by doing. You've got the 521 words, you've got the patterns. So, after watching this explainer, what's it going to be? Will you go back to silence? Or will you take one small step forward and actually use your voice today? The choice is entirely yours. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.